So, where the hell have I been again? Yeah, I really don't want this channel just to become updates and that, but being neurodivergent and having both autism and ADHD and trying to balance those two things is not fun, but it's not really a case of that. Now, I'm uploading this video today because it's the big day, obviously. It's 20 years of Cars, which, is quite a big deal. But I'm putting this video up to just kind of get a video out on the day, but also more or less talk about where the hell I've been. Now, I'll start with the updates because I feel like that's just a bit more important than the 20th. The reason why I can't make content at the moment is purely because life has just gotten very busy this year in these last 6 months. My mental health has not been the best for a start, but more important of all, I've not been able to um, have the time to make content because a lot of things that have happened have just really got in the way. And also, obviously, the reason why I pretty much stopped making content in the first place was because of the phone case situation. If anyone watched my update from a couple months ago, also, yes, the haircut, yes, that's now a thing. If just get that out of the way because people have only seen me with long hair. But the reason why I never uploaded really at all this year is because of the phone case situation. The back of my phone came off months and months ago, and I'm still using the same phone, by the way. It's been a very slow progress trying to get a new one, but I mean, there's a family member who deals with all that for me, and we've not really been in like precise contact, so it's a bit hard to get things moving a lot quicker. But basically, I've not been able to make them because of this. Because this is the thing, I could do my videos handheld if I really wanted to, but that's not how I want to make content. I want to do it on the tripod. The thing is though, taking my phone at the case and sticking that to a tripod is probably a bit dangerous at the moment because the pressure that will squeeze onto the phone and just make the case pop off, it could easily break my phone, and I'm not taking that chance. I've kept my phone in this case ever since that happened. Funnily enough, I actually had one slip up with it yesterday where I pulled my headphone jack out so hard that I actually dragged the phone down out of the case. That's the only time I've had it out since, but the back didn't come off thankfully, which was amazing. But um, that has been the main reason. There's been plenty of other reasons why I've not made content this year. There's been mental health reasons. It's been health concern reasons, of which have all been cleared up. By the way, um, I thought I had cancer, which was incredibly scary. But I don't. Um, this so much has happened since I last really spoke on this channel, but yeah, I thought I had cancer. So it's been incredibly tricky trying to manage and balance that because I just thought my life was going to completely change and flip upside down. I thought I was going to have to pack up and pass stuff on because I'd be in the last moments of my life. It got really scary at one point, but because I found two lumps on me, I found one in my throat and one on my back. Um, Turns out they're both fatty corpuscles, so they're not cancer. And I got a blood test for that. The back one the doctor identified straight away, but this one they were a bit more concerned about. I got a blood test, all clear. There's nothing. I don't have leukemia or anything like that, which is brilliant, obviously. But I had a tummy infection apparently, so I was on pills for a week, which was really hard to, manage. I feel like it's kind of fucked up. Fucked off. It's kind of fucked up my stomach pathway and system since then, unfortunately. But I'm trying to get over it. I think I'm all clear now in that. It's just the pills really did take a big effect on me. That's happened. I also fell out with a friend. And that was an ongoing situation for about 6 weeks. We have made up since. We're friends again, which is obviously amazing. Um, that was a whole other situation that really put me low and depressed and all that stuff. I went away on holiday during that time for a week. So to, like try to balance those two things. And this is before I got my test results. I had to deal with doctor stuff when I felt with this friend, so there was a lot of balance at the same time. And then go away on holiday, and then come back, let things get back to normal, get my test results, try and deal with the stuff with my friend. I thought it was kind of in the past, but things came up in that, and we've dealt with it just literally in the last week in that. So things are all sorted there, which is amazing. There's been now I'm in therapy, so I'm now in counselling, and I've been going to a place for the last month now for my mental health, and hopefully I'm going to get that all sorted and feel a lot better about things. Just there's been a lot of shit going on this year, and yeah, I've just not really had the time to make the content. But the main problem is the phone case situation. It's also not that, it's just storage on my phone. My phone is just an absolute clusterfuck full of stuff. Half of it I don't need, and I don't dedicate the time to clearing it out because my brain is not interested in doing that. So I have decided what to do is this morning I just deleted all of my Snapchat photographs off my phone, which was over 2,000, may I add, because if I didn't do this I wouldn't be able to even record this video right now. I just got rid of it all because it's like, this is stuff I'm never going to look back on. I'm just deleting stuff that I'm just never going to look at again. I know I won't, So getting that out my phone was a big help. Honestly, at this rate, I need two phones to fucking the amount of crap I've got on my phone to store stuff in that. But I just decided to wipe the slate clean. But the thing is with Snapchat, those are memories that were stored on Snapchat, so I can easily reinstall Snapchat and just send Snapchat a lot. And just go back and look at those photographs, obviously. But it's been a whole host of stuff that's just happened this year, and it's just got in the way of the 20th. But because I really wanted to make a lot of content, I wanted to do diecast reviews and the new race celebrate stuff. But unfortunately, that stuff hasn't really shown up in the UK still. We've got the big loop track, of which is £50 that I cannot afford. I'd love to get it and review it for you guys, but to be honest, I think I'd rather wait until I have all the light up cars to do that video, and they're £12 a pop, so it's going to be a bit hard to manage all that. And also, another thing amongst all these updates, I've got a house move that I need to do as well, so that's another reason why I've not been able to make any content. And honestly, because this is still my partner's place I'm in, literally down there, that is the corner that I film in when I make videos. That corner right there, still the same setup. I think for making content, I'm just gonna wait until I move into my new place, because that is literally happening in the next month or so now. That's another thing I've tried to deal with this year as a house move. There's so much going on for me this year. Just life gets in the way, and it just gets very busy. And I feel so bad that I have not made really any content for the 20th anniversary, because it's an important year. But another factor as well is I'm just not really into cars this year as much as I have been the last 2 years, which is a fucking shame. It's like, why am I not really into cars that much compared to other times? Because literally, in terms of the films this year, I've watched the first film once. I was more or less holding off till, because I will watch that today. Of course, I'm going to watch Cars 1 today. Too fucking right. That was more or less based on the fact of I got the Lego McQueen. I bought that, obviously. So I built that with Cars 1 on in the background. Cars 2, I stuck on in the background at one point while sorting stuff. And then I actually properly watched that a few weeks back. More because my test results were good. They were in the clear. So I thought, oh, well, to have a bit of comfort and celebrate, why not, one of my favourite childhood movies, and I love Cars 2 again, which is fantastic, because I went through a phase of not really liking it, but no, Cars 2 is a great film. I'll always hold my hands up at that. I was wrong thinking otherwise of it. No, I really enjoyed it. But that's been it, and I watched the Tokyo Mater short at one point, purely because I got the Tokyo Mater metallic diecast. But that's been it. I've not watched any of the other Cars stuff this year. I've not watched Cars 3 or On the Road or any of the Mater shorts. And it's just because the main problem here is Mattel. I don't want to dog down Mattel with this video, because that's not what today should be about. It should be celebrating 20 years of this absolutely wonderful franchise. It's done a lot for us in our childhoods. But I think when a company, and the main company you might support for these things, so let's say, for example, I'm a big Transformers fan. Alright, yes, that is Optimus Prime holding the Pride flag. I don't care what anyone's opinion is on that, and I don't want fucking comments bashing this or that. Pride is important. Bear that in mind. There's a reason why it's happening. Thank you very much. But like Hasbro, right? Another company I really support and give a lot of money. They have been making amazing stuff this year for the 40th anniversary of the original Transformers film. They've been making so much good stuff that I've just put my money into that instead. Like, for cars, the only stuff I've bought this year is really the singles that come out that I don't have. So, in the last lot was Will Rush, Memo Rojas Jr., and Mater of 95 hat. That was that was mid-April, right? That was 2 fucking months ago. Case H has still not shown up here. The actual 20th anniversary case. So I've seen all the updated cars packaging, they look beautiful, and the Race to Celebrate cars, obviously, that's included. None of that stuff is out here. The only thing has been the light up track. The light up cars apparently did come out here, but I never seen any in shops. So I don't know what the hell is going on. And I'm not surprised, to be honest, that, of course, now, Mattel has been absolutely killing it with their distribution the last year. They have been fantastic. The only real slip up they had last year, in all honesty, was probably, I think for you US folk, it was probably Case, I think it might have been Case Q, if I'm not mistaken. There was a case last year that I know no, it was Case X. That was the one you struggled with. It was Case X with Luigi and Guido and Rally Race Crews. But Mattel has been absolutely fantastic for distribution here. The last slip up we really had was probably Case R from last year with like JW and Christina Wheeland and Kyandi and pit crew member Sarge. That's the stuff that was in that case that of significance. But I am not surprised that when does the distribution slow down? Oh, of course, when the 20th anniversary stuff's going to come out. I knew that was going to happen. I just, like, they've been absolutely killing it, but as Doc always says with these distributions and that, there's always a point that's going to slow down, and it is, unfortunately, it's been the 20th anniversary stuff, which does not surprise me in the slightest, because that's the thing, like, Hasbro been killing it this year, and I've been putting my money into that instead. Whereas with cars, it's kind of like, because the main company I buy things from, which is Mattel, have just had such a lack of interest of making anything. Never mind new releases, right? Okay, I know Race to Celebrate is there, and you've got some 20th cars, but never mind new releases, right? Re-releases is what really should have counted. And Mattel really are in that law now that they cannot make new cars because of whatever's going on with Pixar and that. And that's why we get these repaints of like Race to Celebrate and Race and Rescue and that. Do re-releases of stuff that's not been released for like 20 fucking years. That is what they should have been doing this year. Like, can you imagine if we got like Stefan Gremsky and Jerome Ramt and fucking Tolga Gremlin? That would have been amazing. You know, that would have really set off the year, I think. You know, stuff like that. You know, what's another good example? I can't think of any more, but you get my point. You know, Professor Z, Rotorg, Redline, stuff that's not been released in forever. You know, that's what the focus should have been this year, and not what we have had. You know, and because of all these combination of things, like, just never mind Lone Life stuff, but also the lack of interest from Mattel, it's just really fucking put me off cars, unfortunately. And like, I'm hoping with what I'm going to do today to celebrate the 20th, I've got things in mind. I'm watching cars later on tonight. I'm hoping it's going to get me back into it because I want to make content for the rest of the year for Cars 20th going forward. Up until the 31st of December 2026, I want to make stuff because this is the thing, unless you're really passionate about it, you just won't feel like doing anything for it. And, you know, like, Transformers, I'm in a phase of that at the moment, but that's not going to last. I will get out of Transformers, you know. And it's the same with Doctor Who, that's my favourite thing in the world. I'm just not really into it at the moment. You know, just, you have these phases of things that you just like and don't like. And unfortunately, this year for Cars, it's just been like, it's just been, I'm not really that interested in it, unfortunately, you know. Like, because most of my diecasts are packed away now because I'm moving, you know. But I've not got like stuff laid out about in that, you know. I've just not been able to celebrate it really properly. But what I want to say is today I was supposed to put out a tribute to Real Gone. I done the obviously When You Find Yourself tribute this year, which was very successful and went down very well with people in that, and I appreciate the support on that. It's gotten a lot of views for my channel, so I'm incredibly proud of that. I wanted to make a Real Gone one. I wanted to do a couple this year, but again, storage space and that's just been a bit difficult. So I am going to make, starting tonight, I would have loved to have had it up for today, but unfortunately it's just not happened. I mean, I'd try to make it like the last week or so. There was something else entirely I wanted to do for today. I wanted to do a guitar tribute, but the person who was supposed to teach me the guitar to actually play the notes of Real Gone, their contact is not so great. They have their own mental health issues and that, so I've not pressurized, and their dad is dying, so I've not pressurized them into, getting this made. I was like, just whenever we can. I'd like to get it up this year, that tribute, but the guitar one. But I'm gonna make a tribute video to Real Gone. So starting tonight, I'm gonna make that. I promise I'll make that and hopefully get uploaded by the end of the week. Because this is the 20th weekend that way, so it'd be nice to put it up, obviously. But that was supposed to be out today. I was wanting to do that and then start doing content going forward. So yeah, I've rambled on for 16 minutes and I'm gonna run out of storage space at 19 minutes 38. But the whole point of this video, obviously, and why I'm putting it up, it's life updates, but also happy 20th fucking anniversary to Cars. I mean, it's incredible to think that we are now at a stage with this film, how, I mean, the fact it's still going later, 20 years later, is a testament to it as a franchise, And just sort of what I mentioned, I think what's not helped this year for Cars is the fact Toy Story 5 is coming out. Toy Story 5 is getting so much attention, it's unreal. Like, just the merchandise has really fucking boomed. It's everywhere. Clips, trailers, TV spots. The film's not even out yet, but that has had so much attention drawn towards it. And it was always going to happen. It's a Toy Story film, But I think what doesn't help us is we had Toy Story's 30th last year, which got a lot of attention. Now Toy Story 5's getting a lot of attention. It's like, it really makes me wish Toy Story 5 came out last year. That way Cars could have just had all the attention. But because they are Pixar's two biggest franchises, I would argue, and Toy Story is probably just a bit more popular. Unfortunately, it's just gotten more attention, which, I mean, I'm excited for Toy Story 5. I can't wait, but I wish it came out last year so Cars could get all the love, but it is what it is. But, obviously, a happy 20th anniversary to Cars. There is... It's amazing to think it's even reached this far. Never mind the fact it came out as a film and, that's now 20 years old. I mean the fact it's still continued, because I think that first diecast line was the only one Mattel ever planned to make. So with all the classic Townies and the Tuners and the Kynan Chick Hicks and Aiken Axler and Claude Scruggs, that was all they ever planned to make. And then obviously because of how successful that first film was, they were like, right, we're going to make a hell lot more. And look where we are 20 years later, eh? It's just astonishing to think where we've ended up with this franchise. And yeah, I'm very proud to be a part of it. I'm glad I got back into it and realised that I wasn't too old for it. You're never too old for these things. But yeah, I am. I'm very happy to be here today for celebrating 20 years of it. And I'm gonna be doing a lot. I'm gonna play a bit of Racerama and wrap up Cars, list Cars, decorate a wee bit, just gonna do nice 20th anniversary things for it that I can in my current circumstances, because when you're moving and most of your shit's packed away, you can't really celebrate. So, but, I'm still gonna do the best I can. So yeah, that's really it. And a massive thank you to Docket and Cars Garage and just all Cars content creators out there who have been making the content that I couldn't have this year, because they're the main people you want to watch. They're the ones who are keeping the 20, despite the lack of interest in Mattel, they're keeping the 20th feeling alive, and they're such an important part of our community, so yeah. Anyway, happy 20 years to Cars. I will see you soon.